What do you think about when you look at a glass of golden amber drink? Sun, summer, good weather, and absolute freedom. It's not surprising, since beer is not just a drink, but a philosophy based on the fact that the best things in life are those created by nature. Hops, malt, pure crystal water. But is this all you need to make a wonder? What do you think about when you hear the name Yarpivo? Probably you think about the masters who created this wonder, their magical hands and constant care of the quality in the parts of their souls they put into their favorite work. Let's go to a place where this marvelous beer is brewed. A recipe for a good beer. Everything started in 1974. That year, the State Committee of the USSR allowed Yaroslava Brewery to start up operations. 2 years later, a beer which brewed there was awarded with the All-Union Quality Mark. A lot of beer was brewed and consumed since then. In 1993, the brewery was changed into a joint stock company. In 1996, Yarpivo plc and the Scandinavian company Baltic Beverage Holding AB made a decision to strategically cooperate on investments. Only 1 year later, a large-scale reconstruction of the brewery started. There is no limit to perfection. That's why the management of the company aimed at creating new super modern production facilities. A recipe for a good beer, malt. What does beer start with? Of course, with malt preparation, since the quality of the final product depends on malt quality most of all. In order to turn selected barley corns into malt, they are first placed in an elevator, where humidity and temperature are permanently controlled. After thorough cleaning, barley is steeped and then conveyed to specially equipped malt houses for sprouting. At a certain moment, germination has to be stopped. Then green malt is dried in a kiln with hot air and desprouted. After that, the malt is stored in silos for 1 month. Recipe for a good beer, malt, water. Now we can start making wort. As all of the stages of production of the high-quality beer, a process of making wort requires strict observance of all technological norms and use of the most sophisticated modern equipment. The object was the purpose for a complete reconstruction of the brewery's brewhouse. The brewing process is controlled by computers. However, we cannot entrust everything to soulless machines. Brewing is a creative process and it requires human participation. During boiling of wort, we add hops. It is hops which gives specific aroma and peculiar bitterness to a beer. Besides, hops makes Yarpivo beer stable, and due to it, Yarpivo has a thick, dense foam, which is one of the main characteristics of the high-quality beer. A recipe for a good beer, malt, water, cooling. But it's still far from a real beer. Now ready wort is cooled down to the fermentation temperature. Then we add yeast and pump the wort to fermenting tanks. This is a very important moment, demanding medical sterility and accuracy. And at this stage, Yarpivo is also up to the mark. In 1997, A laboratory for the brewery was completely reconstructed and modern equipment for yeast propagation was put into operation. Now, we should leave the wort alone for 5 to 7 days, depending on a type, so that it could get the necessary alcohol content and become saturated with carbon dioxide. But you shouldn't think that your favorite beer is left to the mercy of fate. The fermentation process is thoroughly controlled by clever professionals and machines. We would like to remind you that we use high technology at all stages of making our beer. When the fermentation process is over, yeast is removed, and during the next 8 to 12 days, the beer is maturing and stabilizing. In the course of this process, beer clarifies and gets its noble taste. Only a short time is left until Yarpivo comes to life. Since matured beer is not clear enough, it needs filtering. Therefore, first it goes through a separator where most of the yeast is separated, then it is cooled and pumped into a fine filter for further filtration. For the most important production processes which influence the quality of the final product, brewers use the most modern equipment. Quality is above all. A recipe for a good beer: malt, water, cooling, and a little bit of conscience. And here is a Yarpivo beer. Crystal clear with thick foam and unique taste. We cannot but envy masters working for Yarpivo because their work is one of the most pleasant work in the world, but it's also one of the most important. Delicate taste, amber color, unique aroma. Everything should be carefully evaluated. Now Yarpivo is almost ready to be sent out to you, in bottles, cans, kegs. It's not worth arguing about the advantages of different types of package. Everyone chooses the one he prefers. Some people consider the beer should be only filled into glass bottles. Others like plastic bottles more, since they are perfect for picnics. Aluminum cans are handy and stylish. Moreover, canned beer is protected against sun rays. There are some people who drink only draft beer, so we deliver Yarpivo in kegs to bars and restaurants, especially for them. No matter which form you choose, the content is always of the highest quality. There are more than 10 various sorts of beer and 4 different types of package. You have a great choice. We want our beer to be delivered to our consumers as soon as possible, and the ready goods warehouse is an important link on this way. In order to speed up the shipment procedure, we equipped our forklifts with navigation computers. Ideal cleanness and optimum temperature condition will preserve the original freshness of Yarpivo until you take a glass. A recipe for a good beer: malt, water, cooling, and lots of common sense. The long way from a tiny barley corn to a sweaty glass on your table is the result of work of hundreds and thousands of people, professionals dedicated to their job. Their professionalism ensures that the work is well coordinated and the process is perfectly organized. The human factor is the basis at Yarpivo. Since whatever metal is supplied, whether it's the 21st or the 22nd centuries, unless and until the people influence this metal and make it work as it should, nothing will be obtained. That's why personnel, or so-called a human factor, is the basis for us. The management of Yarpivo believe that investments in production, continuous development of product portfolio, and the highest quality standards are absolutely necessary to retain a leading position. The strategy of stable and effective development of the company includes the following components: implementation of quality improving program, large-scale reconstruction aimed at the creation of new modern production, active marketing policy and sales logistics, and finally, effective corporate management, which includes social and ecological aspects. Everybody is involved, and everyone has to do his own work well. To pay in time, to deliver at the right time, and to make a high-quality product from the material which was ordered. Understand? I'm responsible too, you know. That's why I want the company to continue to exist. And I want the image of the company to survive me. The company Yarpivo strives to achieve a stable balance of interest between the state and the region, between consumers and suppliers, between company employees and shareholders. The main goal of the company's management is to create a big industrial complex within the brewing industry, which will develop effectively and dynamically. Recipe of the people's love: simply an excellent beer. Yarpivo today is one of the leading producers of beer and soft drinks in Russia. Its products are sold practically in all the Russian regions, from Murmansk to Sochi, from Kaliningrad to Primorsky Krai. Our beer is delivered to the CIS and Baltic countries and to other foreign countries as well. During the years of the company's operation on the Russian beer market, Yarpivo has earned itself a reputation and managed to maintain its good name. What is the secret? Yarpivo is a world-class product at a reasonable price which is acceptable for an average-class consumer. But the main thing is that we respect the consumer's taste and continuously develop new sorts so that everyone could find his own Yarpivo. Mild taste of Yarpivo Amber comes from rice, which is added in it. Yarpivo Original, it's a light beer, which perfectly quenches your thirst on a hot summer day and warms in the severe cold. Yarpivo Dark was created for true beer lovers. Taste and aroma of caramel malt are dominating in its unique bouquet. This beer has a wonderful color and can decorate any table. Special hops give a delicate aroma to Yarpivo Ice and makes it easy to drink. Yarpivo non-alcoholic and the natural fermentation process at low temperatures makes it similar to classic beer with regards to aroma and taste. Do you love beer as much as we do? To create a masterpiece, you need more than only high technologies. allegiance to traditions, love of nature, and finally, the deepest respect to those for whom we brew our marvelous beer, Yarpivo.